My name is Lillian, and I work for InvestPenang. This slide was done by one of my colleagues. So, what does InvestPenang do? We are the economic investment arm of the state. So, we looked at investment. Just the next slide. Thank you. So, we look at the rejuvenating the industrial and the economic development of the states. So we do policy advocation. We look at the new areas of growth. So for the last 40 years, we've looked at manufacturing, from manufacturing now to knowledge economy. We look at areas where we should spawn that growth. So what make Penang a world city? Well, we did a survey 2 years ago to look at talents and ask them why do they choose to work in Penang. And I think the questions that came up was that where Penang offers a balanced lifestyle, Penang is a safe city. Penang is a great place for talent who are more on the technical and the engineering background, because we have within us 40 years of industrialization and all the big names in manufacturing that's here. People talk about being able to raise their family, being able to go to the hills and to the forest, being able to go to the beach. But there are also areas that people would like to see improvement in, and one of the areas is economic diversity. I think if you're a talent in manufacturing, in engineering, it's great potential for work. But if you're, for example, from finance, all the big financial houses are in KL. If you're looking at advertisement, more in a creative area, filming, not much opportunity here. But we're trying to change that. So for us, our job is to look at that kind of economic activity that's not prevailing here and trying to find areas that we can spawn off that growth. We voted as a 10 livable, I think it was 8th most livable city, but I think we've dropped down to like 17 or 18, and I don't really know why. So that's one area that we should be concerned about. Can I have the next page? So what would make us, to me, a livable city of tomorrow? I think sustainability is very important. Policies that are sustainable, policies that are not just political. If we give out, for example, means of sustenance for the people who are on the poor sector, can we sustain that? Can we do something more than that? Can we find jobs? How do we feed the aged? How do we feed the people who are handicapped and can't find jobs? So our policies has to be sustainable. I think for us in InvestPenang, we look at whether we can bring in jobs that is more relevant to the new economy. Manufacturing has been an area that we've been very strong in for the last 40 years, but we've outgrown that. We're no longer a cheap labor economy. So how do we attract the young talent that come in? How do we spun off the creative economy? That's an area which is actually we're not doing very well in. We want to do well, but we're still struggling with that. In November of 2013, Sony PlayStation Group came to Penang, and they thought that especially in the Georgetown area, they thought that it was a great place for them to bring in the creative industry. But there's none whatsoever industry here. There's no studio to say we can't come in and start fresh because it's too much a cost for us, too much learning cost. Failure rate could be so high. So since then until now, we've been trying to say, how can we bring in the studios? How can we bring in the tech industry? How can we bring in the mobile apps people? And that's the area that we're struggling now to create. We haven't got the answer yet, but we're working very hard on that area. I think we also have to find a niche market. We cannot be, in the economic point of view, we cannot try to do everything. In so much as we're trying to do the tech startup, every other city is trying to do it. Jakarta, Philippines, China, Shenzhen, Singapore, KL, everybody's trying to do it. So we can't compete with all those. We don't have all the resources. So how do we find a niche market for us to play? Where do we find a space for us to play? Is there another slide? I think we could have another slide. Yep. In InvestPenang, we also go around the world trying to bring talent back into Penang. We're trying to keep them before they go away to KL, to Singapore to work. I think the niche, to me, the test of the question is that I have a 22-year-old who's graduating this year. Would I ask her to come back to Penang to work? Would she find the inspiration to grow? Would she have the opportunity to grow professionally? Could she have, a good future in Penang? Could she have a good standard of living? Those are the questions that all of us and the leaders in Penang, I think, have to think about. If you want to grow the next generation, how do you ensure that when you keep them here, you can at least give them a good opportunity to grow? I mean, for people like me, who's so old, we grew up in the years where Penang or Malaysia was the Asian tiger, with great opportunity. Manufacturing sector was going up, like Indonesia, and Singapore was just growing up. So we had great opportunity for growth. But what about the kids in the next 10 years? Young kids is coming out. How do we ensure that they have a good standard of living for them for the next 10, 20 years? Thank you.